City of Tshwane has been naming and shaming and disconnecting electricity defaulters. Now, Johannesburg also wants to recoup over 38 billion rand it's owed. But some say the city must first deal with its billing issues. Specialised Utility Solutions helps people sort out incorrect billing. Its director, Ferguson, says he has numerous open queries on both electricity and water accounts. He joins us live now. Ian, thank you so much for your time this morning. Can we just shed light in terms of just how much of a billing crisis the city of Johannesburg is in? I understand that even by 2021, the backlog in terms of being able to deal with those billing queries was about 5 years long or so. But where are we at?
Morning, Faith. Thanks for having me on the show. The billing crisis within the city of Joburg is absolutely crazy. As people are aware, there's issues of accounts that have not been sorted out. The city has a fundamental problem where accounts that have been flagged and queried with incorrect billing, be it for electricity, be it for water, be it for rates and taxes, or incorrect tariffs that are being charged to clients, these are just not being rectified. The city's bylaws are clear in the aspect that the city has a responsibility to ensure that queries on bills need to be sorted within 14 days, and this needs to be done in writing. The city is failing to do this. And the big problem that I've found with this over the years is that there is a lack of understanding within the city of Joburg, from your walk-in centres all the way through to accounts, where people do not understand on how or what to do with outstanding queries.
I mean, we're talking about outstanding queries and not knowing what to do. Was it not in about 2021 or so where the former mayor who took over the city of Johannesburg, Mpomwerane, made an announcement about a billing app, so as to say, to be able to resolve the very same crisis? I believe that even 25 million rand or so was actually pumped into this app and finding a way of mitigating against people standing in long queues for the purpose of being able to solve this. One wonders, Ian, where are we at when it comes to that innovation, so as it were, that was supposed to come about, that was supposed to be in completion, if you're saying that people don't even know how to resolve it within the city of Joburg themselves?
You know, they might have launched this app. If you go to any one of the council's walk-in centres, you will see queues and queues and queues of people. There are thousands of queries that are raised every single day. The problem with this is, you know, I've also received on one of my accounts, received a pre-termination notice on an account that's over 300,000 rand in credits. And it doesn't just go down to problems where there's overcharges on accounts. It works the other way as well. Also been battling to try and get an account resolved where there are it's the mid-7 figures that are owed to council. Council's latest calculation gave us a statement, 200,000 rand in credits. So there's a complete lack of understanding and just basic ignorance in it. The problem is that you can have new mayors come in, new mayors go out. This problem has been going on for years and years and years. The admin staff at COJ have not changed. It's the same people who are either unable to fulfill their duties or who just do not know how to. If these people were operating in the private sector, they would be fired or sued. In the government, in the council sector, nothing happens. And it's time that the mayor needs to start looking at this and get teeth and start actioning things against people within the council. I've also had communications on certain queries where it's gone from the walk-in centres, escalated to managers, right the way up through to the MMC finance office, the mayor's office, as well as the city manager's office. Instruction gets given from the mayor's office to relevant departments to resolve queries, and this is just ignored by these departments. And, you know, as ratepayers, what are we supposed to do if we cannot get a right account? It's the city's responsibility to ensure that correct metering is done, correct tariffs are charged on accounts, the backlog on rates valuation queries, that's been going on for years. There just seems to be no resolution in sight. And you've got people who are wanting to pay accounts who are just unable to due to the fault in billing. For example, I've got another client where they are being overcharged 4 times for electricity on a body corporate. They have 4 electricity meters on account when there's only 1 on site. It is impossible for them to enter into a payment arrangement due to the fact that every single month it's going to fall away because they are not going to be able to meet the obligation to pay this, an incorrect bill.
Well then, Ian, on the other side of it, of the spectrum, is that it would seem that the City of Johannesburg is trying to follow perhaps from what the City of Tshwane has been doing with the aim of recouping some of that money, 38 billion rand or so that is owed to the city just over, water, electricity and the likes. In that instance, would it be a wise move for the city to actually go onto the spree to recoup some of the money, even though its own house seems to be in disarray?
Well, look, I mean, obviously the city needs to collect to perform. Problem is, if your house isn't in order, how can you force a consumer to acknowledge a debt that is actually incorrect? The city needs to do its due diligence, make sure accounts are actually correct before trying to action anything like this, especially if there are open queries that have not been resolved. Council needs to ensure that these resolutions take place. They need to put in people to actually do these resolutions, which isn't happening, and to move the step forward. I've got one case which I've been working on where this has been on the go since 2014. And there just doesn't seem to be an end in sight. Yeah.
Could the City of Johannesburg find itself inundated with lawsuits or being taken to court over this matter? We've seen even with the likes of the City of Tshwane, they embarked on this Tima Tshwane campaign, and they had some pushback from various institutions saying, hold on a second, we've paid for X, Y, Z. I know that Gautrain even was at the forefront of one of those lodgings of taking the City of Tshwane to court over saying, but we've paid for certain things, we have not paid for certain things, we want to make arrangements and the like. But could the City of Johannesburg then follow suit and find itself in hot water, finding itself in court because of not being able to take care of its own house, not being able to have the checks and balances in place, and then going after these companies or even public sector institutions so that they can try to recoup some of the money?
Absolutely. The bylaws that are in place with the city with regards to debt control and credit collection, etc., as well as the various other water and electricity bylaws are very clear. They're very clear in the fact that in this case of a dispute, it is the client's responsibility or duty to pay for the undisputed portion on their monthly bill. However, council seems to be ignoring this and is only looking at the big picture. They are not taking into account disputes. They're not resolving the disputes. And it's a vicious circle. In the same set bylaws, the council's responsibility is there to ensure that billing is correct and to ensure that resolutions are resolved timeously and in writing, and they don't do this. So they're choosing certain bylaws to apply and ignoring ones which are getting in their way.
Ian, certainly is a long piece of string here when it comes to being able to resolve the billing crisis in the City of Johannesburg, and one wonders whether or not they'll be able to recoup that money. 38 billion rand owed to the city quite amicably. Ian Ferguson, there's the Director of Specialised Utility Solutions, just giving us an update on that matter.